So I'm just reminding you that that you have your notebooks ready, because in this meditation we are going to write down our impressions. But let us go into our text of the day. We are reading from the book, The Reappearance of the Christ, and we are in the chapter 4, and this is coming from the page 68, the work of the Christ today and in the future. So, the crisis of the Christ. In the life of every disciple, particularly of those who face certain great expansions of consciousness, a point of crisis will come about. I think that is for us very good to remember, that if we have crises, it is just direct sign for us that there is hopefully great expansion of consciousness on the way. In that point of crisis, decisions are voluntarily or involuntarily made. Having made them, the disciple then stands at the point of tension with the decision behind him, and the next step to be taken becoming clearer to his mental perception and influencing his attitude to the future. When the work is done in the period of tension, then there comes what we might call the point of emergency. This is both an emergency from and also an emergency into a field of experience. The Christ himself is no exception to this threefold experience. And in order that we may understand more fully, let us apply these three phrases, inappropriate as they basically are, to the action and the reaction of the Christ. There is no crisis for him in the sense that crises exist for us. There is no strain or stress attached to his point of tension. The parallel is, however, good enough to convey something to you or what has transpired within that state of awareness, which distinguishes the spiritual hierarchy. To this state of consciousness, we can give the name of spiritual perception in contradiction to the mental perception, which is the human counterpart. It must be remembered that the point of crisis producing the point of tension to which the Christ may be regarded as voluntarily subjecting himself is a hierarchical matter or event because the entire hierarchy is involved in the crisis. The reason for this is simple. The Christ and his workers know only the experience of group consciousness. A separative participation and attitude is unknown to them, for their state of awareness is inclusive and in no way exclusive. Using therefore human terminology in order to interpret the divine reactions of the Christ and his disciples, it must be realized that the point of crisis, which is responsible for hierarchical tension and for the eventual appearance of the emergency of the Christ, lies behind the Christ. It is in the field of long past experience. The consequent point of tension is now controlling the affairs of the spiritual hierarchy and its many groups of workers. The point of tension, the point of decision, as it is called in all hierarchical circles, was reached during the period between the full moon of June 1936 and the full moon of June 1945. The point of decision covered, therefore, 9 years, a relatively brief time. It resulted in the decision arrived at by the Christ to reappear or return to visible presence on earth as soon as possible. and considerably earlier than had been planned. That is, I think, for us very interesting to recognize that Tibetan is saying that this decision, what he made, was different than it had been planned before that, and that the Christ to appear earlier than it was planned before. And we may just think about reasons, what could be those reasons. This decision was necessarily made in consultation with the Lord of the world, the Ancient of Days of the Old Testament, and the one in whom we live and move and have our being, of the New Testament. He is the custodian of the will of God. It was also made with the full understanding and cooperation of the masters and the senior initiates. This was inevitably so because their participation and help were imperative. They also necessarily had to be with him in thought and cooperating mentally, because his reappearance connotes a great hierarchical approach to humanity and a great spiritual event. And as it is said that now the dates are going to be scheduled on 2025. We all are living very historical moments of Earth and the hierarchical evolution, and also the evolution considering humanity. So now, dearest friends, we start our meditation. So let us all breathe light, white light, in our own rhythm. And drawing the light from the soul. See your co-disciples, your spiritual friends in the light of the soul. And also these group members who is now at present, everyone in that light. And briefly align with your triangle members. Visualizing the love and goodwill passing between this group and your group of triangles. Stage 1. Now, when we have achieved the positive and intended personality quietness, let us formulate clearly to ourselves and in our own words the answers to the following questions done by Master D.K. 1. As a member of the new group of world servers, what is your specific and fixed intention at this moment of dedicated contact with your soul? And 2. Is your concentrated and expressed personality purpose in line with the hierarchical intention, as far as you are permitted to know it. And 3, have you in your own personal daily life earned the right because of definite effort and not so much because of success to stand with those servers who are now undertaking the work of preparation? This is the one time in the meditation where we think of ourselves. And it is here because it is a method of personality, focused attention, and aligns our personality upon the mental plane. Stage 2. Now, having answered these 3 questions in the light of the soul, let us then say with emphasis, forgetting the things which lie behind, I will strive towards my higher spiritual possibilities. I dedicate myself anew to the service of the coming one, and will do all I can to prepare men's minds and hearts for that event. I have no other life intention. Stage 3. Let us visualize the world situation as best we can, and in terms of our major world interest, and with what knowledge of world affairs we may possess. First, see the mass of men everywhere glowing with a dim light. Recognize the quality of that light. And here and there points of brighter light, where members of the nuclear servers and men of spiritual intention and of loving hearts are working for their fellow men. and recognize the quality of that light. Now visualize through the creative imagination the vivid light of the hierarchy. Recognize the quality of it. And see it now streaming towards humanity. And slowly merging with the light which is already in humanity. Be aligned with that light, and let us say the first stanza of the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. Now ponder upon the reappearance of the Christ. We realize that no matter by what name we may be calling him in the many world religions, he is still the same great identity. Reflect and speculate upon the possible results of his appearance. And reflect those few things which has to be in place before he can come. When a measure of peace has been restored, when the principle of sharing is at least in process of controlling economic affairs. When churches and political groups have begun to clean house. Then he can and he will come. Let us now say the second stanza of the Great Invocation. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. Endeavor to concentrate your fixed intention to serve and to spread love in your surroundings. Let us realize that in so far as we can do these things, we are attempting to blend our personal will with the divine will. And let us say now the third stanza. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. practical plans. Let us now consider practically what we can do in the coming week to further the preparations for the coming of the Christ. We are part of a group of working forerunners who are called at this time to act and to do our part in the plan. Let us make a definite plan for the coming week and determine again how we will help in the preparations. And make the notes into your notebook. And let us have a few moments of contemplation. Let us now respond to the vibrations of the Christ. And let us commit ourselves in His name. Let us say together, we have gathered in your name, Lord Maitreya, be with us. Welcome His presence. Let us visualize the coming week, how we are standing in the sacred circle and the Christ in the center. Let us be aligned with each other and the work that everyone is doing. So we will sound now 3 times Om for closing and dedicating our threefold personality to the work of preparation. Thank you, dearest friends. Thank you for your participation and for your presence. Tomorrow at the same time we will have this meditation dissipating of clamors. And then we also want to point out that next week is going to be very powerful. On Sunday there's going to be ingress into Scorpio, and also the great festival, Hindu festival, the Festival of Lights, Diwali is starting, all the celebrations on Sunday. Then we are going to have also new moon on Tuesday, and at the same time we have a United Nations Day, or that was on Monday. And then we have a special esoteric United Nations open door day, and welcome everybody. If you have possibility to participate, we will dedicate a lot of contemplation supporting United Nations. So we welcome all of you to these events, and we recommend that all of us are really taking again this powerful time into consideration and trying to do the best we can to be available, and also to use the time for seeing deeper of one's own spiritual dharma and responsibilities, and also in that sense helping humanity. So lots of love to everybody. Thank you so much. Good night from Finland, and see you again tomorrow.
Wherever two or more are gathered in my name, then am I. to